The calm before the storm, life in the Roloff household. Little People, Big World has long captivated audiences by opening a window into the lives of the Roloff family, who have managed to navigate both the joys and trials of small-statured life on a grand stage. At the heart of the show are Amy and Chris Roloff, whose relationship, once perceived as solid and enduring, has recently been the epicenter of shocking revelations that have sent fans reeling. Amy Roloff, often seen as the loving matriarch, has built her life around family, community, and the small yet meaningful traditions that define the Roloff legacy. Her life was, by all accounts, balanced, structured, and predictable, a life that fans of Little People, Big World have grown to admire. Chris, her husband, was equally a figure of stability, known for his humor, down-to-earth personality, and the hands-on approach to family life. For many, the couple's relationship symbolized resilience, trust, and companionship in the unique context of both small-statured living and national television exposure. However, beneath the smiles and farm chores, tensions have been quietly simmering. Sources close to the family revealed that Chris's behavior over the past few months had begun to change, though the reasons remained unclear to outsiders. Those who know the family well describe Chris as normally open and communicative, yet he seemed increasingly withdrawn and evasive about certain aspects of his life. Fans began to notice subtle hints during episodes, a curt tone during conversations, defensiveness in moments that had previously been playful, and occasional frustration that seemed disproportionate to everyday farm life. Amy, by all accounts, had remained patient. Friends close to the family emphasized her tolerance, her attempts to communicate, and her willingness to work through misunderstandings. Yet patience, they say, has limits. What eventually surfaced was a series of statements and actions from Chris that Amy herself described as unforgivable. These words, according to Amy, struck a nerve that had been accumulating over years, a nerve tied to trust, respect, and the sanctity of their marriage. The exact nature of Chris's comments has not been publicly revealed in complete detail, likely due to the personal and sensitive nature of the exchange. However, those familiar with the situation indicate that they were significant enough to cause deep emotional distress. It was a betrayal not rooted in simple misunderstandings or minor disagreements but in a breach of fundamental trust, the kind that shakes the foundation of a relationship built over decades. The impact on Amy was immediate. Those around her describe a profound sense of hurt, as if the core of her world had been disrupted. Friends, family, and even casual viewers of the show have expressed empathy, noting that betrayal in any form, especially within a long-standing partnership, carries a weight that is difficult to reconcile. For Amy, the betrayal was compounded by the public nature of her life. Every action, every reaction, is under the microscope, making personal pain all the more complex. Within the Roloff household, daily life began to reflect the tension. Simple interactions that once involved humor and easy conversation were now tinged with caution. Farm work, once a source of collaboration and pride, became another arena of subtle stress, as both Amy and Chris tried to navigate the new emotional landscape. The children, observing the change in their parents' demeanor, reportedly sensed the strain, creating a ripple effect throughout the family unit. Fans on social media began piecing together clues from recent episodes. A particularly striking moment came during a family gathering, where Chris's detached behavior and Amy's quiet, reflective demeanor spoke volumes. Viewers noted that Amy seemed withdrawn, occasionally glancing away during conversations with Chris, suggesting a shift in their previously public image as a united couple. Social media forums, fan groups, and comment sections buzzed with speculation. Was there infidelity? Was it an emotional betrayal? While many theories circulated, the consensus was that something profound had altered the dynamics of the Roloff marriage. At the same time, the community around the Roloffs, both on and off-screen, rallied around Amy. Friends expressed admiration for her composure, resilience, and dedication to family. They highlighted that while the betrayal was severe, Amy's focus remained on navigating the situation with grace, especially in front of the children and in a setting where cameras are constantly documenting her life. The first chapter of this unfolding story, therefore, is not just about betrayal but about the quiet tension that precedes public revelation. It's about the juxtaposition of private pain and public life, the challenge of maintaining family harmony under scrutiny, and the emotional toll of words deemed unforgivable by someone who has shared decades of love, work, and dreams. Unforgivable words, what Chris said. The moment of truth came during what was intended to be a routine conversation between Amy and Chris, a discussion that initially revolved around day-to-day decisions for the farm and family. According to insiders, what transpired instead was a verbal exchange that would redefine their relationship, at least in the immediate aftermath. Chris, whose words had been building in tension over weeks, reportedly said something that crossed a boundary Amy had long considered sacred. While the precise statement remains private, Amy has described it as deeply hurtful, a comment that not only attacked the core of her character but also undermined the trust that forms the foundation of marriage. In interviews and statements shared with trusted media, Amy explained that she had never imagined that Chris, someone she had relied upon for decades, could articulate something so damaging. The community reaction was swift. Fans of Little People, Big World expressed shock, disbelief, and concern. On social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter, fans speculated about the context, the implications, and what this might mean for the future of the Roloff marriage. Some defended Chris, noting that everyone can speak out of turn in moments of stress, while others empathized with Amy, emphasizing that words have lasting power, especially when they cut deep. For Amy, the aftermath of those words was not just emotional but also logistical. Living life under cameras, with episodes airing weeks or months after filming, means that private moments eventually become public narratives. The pressure of reconciling private pain with public expectation added layers of complexity to her response. Friends recount that Amy spent days reflecting, journaling, and confiding in close allies to process the impact. Her focus remained on clarity, understanding, and ensuring that her actions were guided by self-respect and the well-being of her children. The words, described by Amy as unforgivable, triggered a series of questions that she could not ignore. How could trust be rebuilt after such a breach? What does forgiveness look like when the hurt is this deep? And, perhaps most importantly, how does one protect oneself while maintaining family unity under extreme scrutiny? Chris, for his part, has offered statements of apology, acknowledging that his words caused significant pain. Yet, apologies, while meaningful, cannot erase the sting of betrayal. The situation highlights a tension familiar to anyone who has experienced relational conflict, the gap between acknowledgement and restoration. Words, once spoken, cannot be unsaid, and their echoes can reverberate for years. In the broader context of reality television, the situation is both unique and relatable. Millions of viewers have watched the Roloffs navigate joys, challenges, and ordinary life, building a sense of familiarity and connection. This makes the betrayal and its consequences feel even more immediate to fans, who are invested not only in the Roloff family but also in the ideals of trust, love, and partnership that Amy and Chris have symbolized. As the family moves forward, the lingering question remains, how will this moment redefine relationships? Amy's strength, composure, and dedication to family have been widely praised, but the emotional landscape is inevitably altered. Friends and sources close to the Roloffs indicate that there is no quick fix. Healing, reconciliation, or even mutual understanding will require time, introspection, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. This chapter of the story also underscores a universal truth, that words have power. The ability to break or strengthen bonds resides not just in actions but in communication. Chris's words, deemed unforgivable by Amy, have served as a catalyst for reflection, growth, and, potentially, transformation, both individually and as a couple. Whether the Roloffs emerge stronger or continue to navigate tension remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, the impact of this moment will be felt for years to come. Amy's response, strength and vulnerability. Amy Roloff's response to betrayal has been marked by a combination of vulnerability, courage, and strategic communication. Sources close to the family emphasize that Amy's approach was not about public spectacle but about personal integrity and the preservation of family unity. Immediately following the incident, Amy took steps to protect her emotional well-being. She leaned on trusted friends, family members, and even professional counselors to process the pain. This period of reflection allowed her to articulate the impact of Chris's words, understand her own feelings, and determine her next steps. Interestingly, Amy's response also highlights a broader narrative of empowerment. Rather than responding with retaliation or escalating conflict, she chose a path of measured action. In interviews, Amy has spoken candidly about the importance of setting boundaries, recognizing self-worth, and ensuring that her voice is heard in situations where she might otherwise feel marginalized. Her children, observing her response, have reportedly learned valuable lessons in resilience, communication, and emotional intelligence. Sources indicate that Amy emphasized the importance of honesty, accountability, and empathy, even when confronted with behavior that is difficult to accept. This approach, while challenging, reflects a long-term perspective that prioritizes personal growth and family cohesion over immediate gratification or emotional reaction. Fans have responded positively to Amy's handling of the situation. Social media has been filled with messages of support, admiration, and empathy. Many viewers express a sense of solidarity, noting that betrayal, particularly within the context of a long-term relationship, is universally relatable. Amy's grace under pressure has been cited as a model for navigating personal crises while maintaining dignity and focus. At the same time, Amy has made it clear that forgiveness does not equate to forgetting or excusing behavior. Her approach involves recognizing the reality of the situation, asserting boundaries, and maintaining self-respect while engaging in the difficult work of emotional processing. This nuanced perspective resonates with viewers, many of whom have experienced relational challenges in their own lives. The response also underscores the role of public scrutiny in private matters. Living life on camera adds layers of complexity to conflict resolution. Amy has navigated this terrain with remarkable composure, balancing the need for transparency with the protection of private moments that are not meant for public consumption. Her careful communication demonstrates a keen awareness of the impact that words, actions, and public perception can have on both family and personal reputation. Through this period of tension, Amy has also leaned on her faith, personal reflection, and community support. These pillars have provided stability in a turbulent time, enabling her to make decisions that align with her values and long-term goals. Observers note that this approach reflects maturity, foresight, and a commitment to integrity, qualities that have long defined Amy Roloff's public persona. Moving forward, the road to healing. As the Roloff family navigates the aftermath of betrayal, the focus shifts to healing, communication, and the possibility of reconciliation. While the path forward is neither simple nor guaranteed, several key themes have emerged that define this stage of their journey. First, open and honest communication remains essential. Both Amy and Chris must confront the underlying issues that led to the verbal breach, addressing not only the immediate words but also the patterns, emotions, and dynamics that contributed to the conflict. Friends close to the family emphasize that this process will require patience, empathy, and a willingness to listen without judgment. Second, boundaries are crucial. Amy has made it clear that certain behaviors and language are unacceptable, establishing parameters for interaction that protect her well-being and maintain family stability. These boundaries, while firm, are not punitive, rather, they are a framework for respectful dialogue and mutual understanding. Third, time and reflection are indispensable. Healing from betrayal is a process, not an event. Both Amy and Chris will need time to process emotions, reflect on past behavior, and cultivate the empathy necessary to rebuild trust. Observers note that rushing this process could undermine long-term resolution, making patience a critical factor. Finally, community and support systems play a vital role. Amy's friends, family, and professional advisors provide guidance, perspective, and emotional sustenance, ensuring that she is not navigating this challenge in isolation. Social media, while often a source of speculation and pressure, has also offered a platform for fans to express support, encouragement, and solidarity. For the Roloffs, the road ahead is one of cautious optimism. While the betrayal marked a painful chapter, it also presents an opportunity for growth, understanding, and renewed commitment to family values. Whether Amy and Chris ultimately reconcile or redefine their relationship, the lessons learned about communication, trust, and resilience, will undoubtedly shape their future. In the world of reality television, few moments resonate as deeply as authentic human struggle. The unfolding story of Amy and Chris Roloff reminds viewers that even in the spotlight, life is complex, relationships are fragile, and words carry the weight to either wound or heal. For fans, it is a testament to the enduring power of honesty, courage, and the pursuit of emotional integrity in the face of betrayal.